सेंटी नहीं होना.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute honor and privilege to be talking to two people who perhaps can be considered the most important individuals in the Pakistani MMA scene. Today's episode is going to be a little bit of a history lesson. And when people usually say history, they think about the past. History is about the past, where we've come from, and now where we are right now in the present and the future. We're going to be talking to the godfather, the creator, the founder, the guy who started it all for Pakistani mixed martial arts, Mr. Bashir Ahmed, and with him, of course, a rising star, a person who is now the torchbearer for Pakistani MMA, moving forward in the future of Pakistani MMA. I'm a big fanboy of both of these guys, and I'm so honored to get to talk to both of them. Thank you guys so much for coming on. And of course, the episode हमने primarily इसीलिए की है because of Irfan's big win at the One Warrior Series 10, where he was able to beat Peter Denisov in convincing fashion in a 3-round fight. Irfan, I think सबसे पहला सवाल मैं आपसे पूछूंगा कि ये जो fight थी आपकी One Warrior Series में, इसकी preparation, the fight itself, सब कुछ कैसे आपके लिए play out किया है on February 10th?
ये अब तक की मेरी जो सबसे टफ फाइट होने वाली थी, क्योंकि पीटर डेनिसोव एक अच्छी टीम से था. उनके काफी ज्यादा फाइटर दुनिया में डिफरेंट प्रमोशन में अच्छी जगह पे फाइट कर रहे हैं और एक उनकी अच्छी टीम है. तो उसके लिए मुझे प्रेपरेशन के लिए ऑब्वियसली काफी हेल्प चाहिए थी अपने लोगों की, अपने सीनियर्स की, जिसमें बशीर अहमद हैं, वकार उमर स्पेशली पाकिस्तान में, उन्होंने और बाकी सारे ट्रेनिंग पार्टनर सबने मिलके एक डिफरेंट चैलेंज था जिसको हमने फेस करना था और अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह हमने कर लिया खुद से.
Bashir bhai, I mean, from the Slaughterhouse to Synergy to Rogue, to all of the different phases that you have sort of seen and created for Pakistani MMA, how do you feel right now about Pakistani MMA and how far it's come? क्योंकि हम लोग शुरू तो हुए थे, of course, over a decade ago when you brought the sport here by yourself, and now of course we have fighters like Irfan who are, you know, raising our flag so high. How do you feel? I think that's a very important question to ask.
How do you feel? Like my opinions on the state of Pakistani MMA right now?
Yeah, definitely.
It has definitely, it's entered a stage maybe since the last year where it really is able to take like control of itself. People are now just holding events, people that would not be holding events, years ago. And there's small events that I don't even know are going on, right? So what I mean to say is it's actually taken root in like the grassroots. You know, people are doing things and I don't necessarily even know who they are, you know. Mm-hmm. That's a big change from when, if anybody was doing anything regarding MMA in Pakistan, 100% I would know, like, you know, directly what exactly is going on. If I don't know what's going on, then it's not going to happen, right? Or, you know, the person who's involved with it, it's just not going to happen, right? Or it's not going to happen properly. Now, there are people out in the middle of nowhere, essentially, outside of the main cities that are holding events. And, you know, events that 5 years ago, almost 10 years ago for sure, but 5 years ago, 3 years ago, would have looked very, very good in Pakistan. And those events are happening like in Amido, line fighting, Dera Smile,
yeah.
Exactly. तो फिर कभी मुझे अभी भी नहीं पता कि Dera Smile exactly.
Bashir bhai, I actually went to Dera Ismail Khan for the Lions Fighting Championship to do some ring announcing and also some commentary. We couldn't get the commentary figured out, but I got to go there. I saw like everything there. There was a huge crowd of people who wanted to see the fights. Itne zyada log the wahan pe. It was at least 500 to 1,000 people for a show in Dera Ismail Khan. It speaks volumes about how far the sport's come. So many fighters, so many gyms. But I think it's very important for us to talk about Team Shaheen and the Shaheen gym, right? Really quickly and right off the bat. For a lot of people who may not know about the Shaheen gym, that's essentially the gym where all of this started. And it's in Charrar Pind, and it's also a place where a lot of people can get opportunity. For both of you, Shaheen, what does it represent? And where do you guys see Shaheen going in the future?
Let me ask you a question. So you were at the event at LFC. How long have you been involved in Pakistani MMA? Because you went out there to that event and you just absolutely know like how. So what's your story?
So my story is I'm a fan, right? I'm a big fan. I've been a fan of yours for years, around at least since 2015, 2016. I'm still 23, right? But I've been a fan of MMA. I trained at Synergy for a bit. I trained at Rogue for a bit, but it wasn't really for me, the fighting aspect of things. But what was for me was running my mouth because I like doing that. So then I decided only this last year in August, that was the first show I ever went to, was SFN. And I got into SFN over literally sending them a voice note of, me impersonating Bruce Buffer. And they were like, why don't you come on? And I was like, sure. So then when I got the call for LFC, I was like, of course I'm going to go because I love this stuff. And I love, commentary, ring announcing. So that's my story. And we started this podcast around 7 months ago.
Okay. So were you like, how far back are you familiar with in MMA in Pakistan? Like, do you remember Fight Club?
Yeah. Wait, Fight Club?
Pak Fight Club, yeah.
Yeah, Pak Fight Club. And that was PakMMA and all of the Impact Sports and Entertainment and all of that done by Mr. Zubair himself, right?
Yeah, Impact Sports came later alongside of Fighting Alliance.
Right.
Yeah, so like that's when Impact Sports got involved. Okay. I'm sorry. I just want to get like a bit of context.
No.
Talk about.
I'm still a little young in the sport, though. I'm still learning about this, but I like going back and watching.
Yeah, it's really awesome that you are 23 years old and you have a podcast. You want to talk about MMA stuff regularly in Pakistan. Yeah. Like to me, so when you ask me what is the state of MMA, right? I am talking to you right now, and like, this 3-year-old, right, who was like 16 years old,
Yeah.
When and he has a podcast now talking about MMA. So yeah, this is my what I think about. This is my opinion. It's great. It's great to see this. I'm super happy that we're having a conversation. Super happy that I had the event.
No, dude. Let me just be honest. I have the shivers right now. I'm a little nervous. I have like butterflies in my stomach because I'm talking to literally two of the guys that I've always, when I started this, I'm not lying. When I started this, I used to go to my friends and I used to say the day I can talk to Bashir Ahmed or the day I can talk to Irfan Ahmed. Irfan's my favorite fighter. Bashir's, you are my, inspiration, so to speak, for bringing the sport. I said that's a day, I know I'm doing something right. So this is big for me, but never mind about that. Let's talk about Shaheen for a bit. What does the gym?
Yeah, what does it mean? And that's why I asked how familiar are with the sport. Okay, so here's what the story of Shaheen. Okay, the story of Shaheen is when I came to Pakistan when I moved to Lahore in December of 2000, right? So let's say 2010, exactly 10 years ago. I was in K Block in defense, and we had this gym above a real estate place. But this soon after, hum kab gaye the? Uske piche at the petrol pump here. March? So inhi dinon mein. Okay, so March and April of 2010, we got a place behind at a petrol pump that was called Shaheen. And that was have you heard of Synergy?
Yeah, of course. I've trained there.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So Synergy is Shaheen became Synergy, right? And then years later, when I was like, man, I want to have a gym that really represents how I feel about martial arts in Pakistan and mixed martial arts in Pakistan. And it wasn't opening like this kind of like business kind of thing. I had a lot of fun in Synergy, but it was never really like a passion thing from like my core, like PakMMA was, or like Shaheen is. So that's really the story of Shaheen. So it started as the first gym, but I changed the name to Synergy because people are like, Bashir bhai, you need to have something a bit more a bit of a more Western name. If you came from the U.S., you can't have this name Shaheen, it needs to be more international and stuff. So that's why I went to the name Synergy. And Synergy was actually the name of the gym that I trained at in the United States that shut down. And then I just imported everything of theirs, and made the gym. Yeah.
Okay. And of course, and Shaheen itself, of course, is a gym. Like I've visited Shaheen. I even trained a few times at Shaheen. I've just like kind of shifted between Rogue, Synergy, and Shaheen a few times. Like when I used to train, of course, I've seen Irfan train. I've seen you train just a little bit, fanboying from the side. But Irfan, I mean, what has Shaheen done for you? Like जब से आप शाहीन में आए हैं और आप शाहीन में रहते हैं, वहाँ के environment कैसा है, वहाँ के fighters कैसे निकल रहे हैं, the young and upcoming talent, उसके of course you are the young and upcoming talent, लेकिन I know आपके भी नीचे एक complete file और rank of fighters है जो तैयार बैठा है for their first opportunities. I'm talking about Zabi, I'm talking about Abu Bakr the Golden Sparrow, I'm talking about all of these guys. What's it like for all of you to train together in Shaheen, और आपके लिए exactly Shaheen, what does it mean for you?
शहीन बेसिकली मेरे लिए कोई जिम नहीं है, वो एक फीलिंग है मेरी। शहीन एकेडमी मेरी एक इंस्पिरेशन है, और जो कह सकते हैं कि मेरी अभी तक मेहनत जो मैं कर रहा हूँ वो उसके पीछे पूरी शहीन के बच्चे, शहीन के लोग हैं, बशीर अहमद हैं। क्योंकि जब आप उधर जाते हैं, ऑब्वियसली आप भी उधर गए हैं, तो आपको एक डिफरेंट फील आई होगी कि ये मैं कैसी जगह पे आ गया हूँ। मोहम्मद अली काइंड ऑफ जिम है ये के दौर का, और इतने बच्चे यहाँ पे हार्ड वर्क कर रहे हैं। ये क्या मतलब, ये दुनिया से हट के क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे?
बिल्कुल।
तो वो एक डिफरेंट, जब आप एक छोटी सी पतली सी गली से आ रहे होते हैं और लोग बच्चे कुछ भूखे बैठे होते हैं, जिनके माँ बाप कहीं काम करने गए होते हैं, और बस उनको भी पूछने वाला नहीं होता। जिस उम्र के बच्चों को एक पेरेंट्स की स्पेशल अटेंशन चाहिए होती है, वो बच्चे बस रोड पे बैठे होते हैं, कपड़े उन्होंने पूरे नहीं पहने होते। उस गली से जब आप गुजर के एक अच्छी फैसिलिटी पे जाते हैं, जहाँ पे देखते हैं साफ सुथरा माहौल है, तो फिर वहां पे फिर जाके आप क्या करते हैं? आपको पता होता है यहाँ पे मैंने ट्रेनिंग करनी है और मैंने अपनी कम्युनिटी के लिए, अपने लोगों के लिए सर्व करना है, जिनको मैं रास्ते में देख के आ रहा हूँ। तो शहीन एक फीलिंग है, वो एक जिम नहीं है। तो मुझे एक बहुत उम्मीद है अपने बच्चों से, अपने जिम से, कि इंशाल्लाह ये बच्चे जो, जैसा कि अभी मैं अकेला बंदा, मुझे देख के 5 लोग इंस्पायर हो रहे हैं, तो वो 5 लोगों को देख के को 50 लोग इंस्पायर होंगे, वो 50 से लेके पूरी कम्युनिटी को सर्व करेंगे इंशाल्लाह।
और ऑफ कोर्स अभी वन वॉरियर सीरीज 10 February 10th, जिन लोगों को नहीं पता, और anybody who is familiar with MMA, you might know of the UFC's Dana White Contender Series. The equivalent to that in Asia, 1FC, the biggest MMA organization and the biggest media. Sorry?
One champion.
Yeah,
championship.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
one champion. My bad. I knew there was a.
Yeah, because if and when somebody from One Championship watches this, they'll be like, "Gee, you're representing the company," like, you know. And, so One Championship.
One championship. My bad. I feel pretty good being corrected by you, sir, and that's totally fine. One championship. One championship, of course, has its equivalent in the Rich Franklin Contender Series. Now, this is the series जहाँ से सारे आपके जो major contenders हैं, of course, Stamp Fairtex जैसे अब champions हैं, जो One Warrior Series से गुजरे हैं, और अब of course One Championship, pardon me, में represent कर अपने countries को. Irfan, आपकी win over Peter Denisau. Now we're looking at 2 wins in the One Warrior Series for you. One via an armbar, one via a decision with a beautiful spinning back fist knockdown, by the way. Bashir, how happy are you with Irfan's performance?
I mean, I'm very happy. So first of all, like, to a certain degree, like, I'm with One Warrior Series. I'm the matchmaker for One Warrior Series. So I can't really necessarily always say, so like, I'm always can't be happy for one person when somebody else on that roster, you know, has to lose as well. But this matchup, seeing how Irfan has progressed, I was absolutely very happy to see that development. So I actually know Peter for a long time. Like, I've known Peter since Peter was like 15 years old, being dropped off by his dad at Team Quest, you know. So this was a matchup where I knew both people, you know, quite well, and I knew that was going to kind of see and give each other like where they lie, you know, and their futures. So, and the way that the match happened, over the 3 rounds, and I was very happy to see that. You know, it was a very good all around display of mixed martial arts.
Right. And of course, Bashir, you've transitioned from being a professional MMA fighter, the first ever person to represent Pakistan on an international stage, of course, in One Championship. You've gone from that to now holding an executive role within One Championship. How's that transition been for you, and what's it like for you working behind the scenes in One Championship?
Man, it's not necessarily been easy, right? But it's been amazing, and it has changed me for the better dramatically. You know, the environment and the kind of people that I'm working with there, and just one championships perspective and promotion of martial arts and how they do it. I'm very, very, very happy being there, and I've learned a lot. I mean, even for the people close to me, I think they've probably noticed a big change as well. So it's amazing working behind the scenes and seeing how the global industry is run at the highest level. You know, it's absolutely amazing, and all the time I'm like, oh really? This is the jump from Pakistani MMA like here. You know, it's crazy, and I feel like I definitely feel like I represent Pakistan and Pakistani MMA when I am in my role with one championship. You know, because I'm sure there might be a lot of people who will be like, oh, there's a Pakistani guy who's working like, you know, as one of the executives, you know. So, and he like competed on behalf of Pakistan. So I think all that's very cool. Yeah. And it makes me very happy.
And okay, it would be criminal if I don't ask, but I have the fighter right here. I have the matchmaker right here. What's next for Irfan Ahmed?
There's a lot of options for him. Just expect to see, like, you know, with what you saw with his skill level, what's that one level above that? You know, what is that pathway? That's what I hope you see next for Irfan.
All right. And Irfan, Irfan, मैं आपसे ही पूछ लेता हूँ. What's next for Irfan Ahmed?
ये तो अभी हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते. अभी तो होपफुली एक उम्मीद थी कि मैं फाइट करूंगा जल्दी, बट वो वायरस की वजह से अभी सब कुछ इवेंट्स ट्रेनिंग सब डिले हो रहा है. तो अभी दुआ करें इंशाल्लाह. पाकिस्तान के लिए इरफान अहमद की तरफ से बहुत कुछ है.
इरफान, अब आपकी पिछली फाइट जो हुई थी वन वॉरियर सीरीज में, of course there got a lot of attention from the news. Yourself and Anita, of course, the two guys, and Shaheen Academy, although he lost, I think he put on a good fight in, I think it was the co-main event. But again, you and Anita got a lot of press, बहुत coverage मिली, बहुत लोगों ने आपके बारे में बात की, बहुत ज़्यादा attention मिली sport को, आपको. Do you feel as if लोग आपकी तरफ gravitate कर रहे हैं? Do you feel a change? कोई difference महसूस हो रहा है since the last fight?
ये अक्सर आपको पता है, बेसिकली ये एक लोगों का तूफान आता है जब आप फाइट करते हैं 10-15 दिन के लिए, 20 दिन के लिए, और फिर सब नॉर्मल होता है. तो उन्होंने बस जो एथलीट्स होते हैं उनको याद रखना होता है कि ये एक वक्ती चीज है और ये गुजर जाएगी. इसको मतलब आपने सर पे सवाल नहीं करना कि पता नहीं हम क्या चीजें हैं या कैसे है. मैंने तो बल्कि कोशिश की है कि सबको, जो लोग मुझे कांग्रेचुलेट कर रहे थे जिनको मैं जानता भी नहीं था, कोशिश कर रहा था मैं सबको रिप्लाई करूं, कहीं वो ये ना सोचें कि पता नहीं इरफान क्या हो रहा है. तो ये सोच फाइटर के लिए और जो लोग होते हैं देखने वाले, उसको फॉलो करने वाले, दोनों के लिए अच्छी नहीं होती. तो इसको हमने कोशिश की थी कि ऐसा ना हो.
नहीं, बिल्कुल सही है. And I mean, you're staying humble, you're staying grounded. I think ये बहुत ज़रूरी होता है for a fighter. But I wouldn't know, I'm not a fighter, but I still think you're doing everything right. But Bashir bhai, talk to me just for a second. I mean, this is pretty much a third generation fighter in a way, right? Because you came and then you had a ring of people, a circle of people around you who you trained, including one Waqar Umer. Now, जब भी मैं किसी event पे जाता हूँ, by the way, और अगर कोई team Rogue का कोई fighter लड़ रहा होता है, तो then मेरे पास एक काफला आता है Rogue के fighters का before, अगर मैं ring announcing कर रहा हूँ, और मुझे कहते हैं तुमने कहना है representing team Rogue and representing team Psycho, and they look at me with those eyes जैसे अगर तुमने नहीं कहा तो something bad's gonna happen to you afterwards. Now, of course, that's kind of trickled down from you to Waqar Umer to now fighters like Irfan. It's a 3-generational step. Do you feel like we're finally at the point where we are producing fighters who can potentially be world champions? Do you feel as if our martial arts academies and our trainers are at the point where they can compete with literally anybody in the world?
Oh, it's going to take like 10 years, 10 more years. Yeah, that's a realistic answer. Could it happen now? Of course. The things are there, right? But the knowledge is there. The training partners are there. It has a large population. So, it's possible. Is it going to happen now? I would be shocked, right? If we see a world champion in the next, like, of a high level organization in the next 2 years. I would be surprised if it happened in the next, like, 5 years. And I would be like, okay, yeah, I mean, and obviously I would see what happened in between, like 10 years from now. It's just going to take a lot of development, because you need to have a healthy competition system where, and it's getting there. It's getting there. It's just a million miles, is light years ahead of where it was when I was in Pakistan. But with a city like Lahore, with 10 million people, we should have like maybe at least 100, guys who can compete on a professional level. We have Karachi and all these cities, and this is what the competition be like, people that they have to go through to really become recognized in Pakistan and then go onwards. And we're not there yet. We're a long way from that. But look at, the most successful team has been Fight Fortress. Those guys really, really good, right? Really, really good. But how many other Fight Fortresses are there? With that many people, that many athletes that they have that are training there and stuff like that, to be able to fight, regularly enough against the level of competition. I've said that there are other gyms, lots of gyms beat Fight Fortress all the time, all the time. But those are smaller gyms, not as many athletes. So point being, it's just not developed yet. It's just not developed. When we have regularly in multiple cities gyms with teams of like 10, 15 decent guys, or girls, for sure, but 10, 15 decent athletes, then we know, we're close to it.
अच्छा, so ये सवाल आप दोनों के लिए, right? And I want, this is kind of a problem solution kind of game that we're going to play, right? And Bashir bhai, I think you've laid down the problem very well, which is that there may not exist a high enough, or not high enough, but a proper structured kind of a competition base where fighters can fight amongst each other and we can decipher this guy's the best, or this girl's the best, or this guy's not the best, this girl's not the best. How do we solve that? Do we need a centralized kind of system from the government? Do we need some kind of more private investment? हमें क्या चाहिए for us to decide कि हमारे मुल्क के best fighters कौन हैं locally? Obviously internationally is a different game, we'll get to that in a second, but locally what हमें और क्या करने की ज़रूरत है? And of course I'm asking you guys for your expertise on the matter.
इरफान पहले जवाब दे दे, क्योंकि अगर मैं जवाब दूं तो इरफान ने कहना है हाँ.
इरफान, क्या मिसिंग है अभी पाकिस्तानी MMA scene में? क्या चाहिए हमें in order for us locally to have the best fights with the best guys and girls?
तो हमें सबसे पहले तो कुछ अच्छे डिसेंट लोग जो स्किल्ड लोग हैं वो सेमिनार्स के लिए, जिस तरह बशीर अहमद, फाइट फोर्ट्रेस, वकार, उमर, इन लोग जिनके पास नॉलेज है, इनको चाहिए कि ये डिफरेंट जगह पे जाके, जिस तरह फाइट फोर्ट्रेस को मैंने देखा है, वो लोग जा रहे थे, कराची गए थे, सेमिनार वगैरह करवा रहे थे. तो बेसिकली एक नॉलेज है जो कि जो नए जिम खोले हैं उनको मिलना चाहिए, उनके कोचेस को मिलना चाहिए. और दूसरा, आपके इवेंट, जितने मार्शल आर्ट्स के MMA के इवेंट्स होंगे उतना ही हम टैलेंट प्रोड्यूस कर सकते हैं. और दूसरा ये है कि उसमें फाइटर को सबसे ज्यादा मतलब सपोर्ट होनी चाहिए, फाइनेंशियल सपोर्ट, क्योंकि जितने भी मिक्स मार्शल आर्ट के फाइटर हैं 80-90% वो मतलब ऐसे हैं कि वो ट्रेनिंग भी अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते MMA की, और मगर वो कर रहे हैं अभी किसी तरह. उन्होंने बस कुछ पार्ट्स में कर रहे हैं, कुछ लोग ग्राउंड में कर रहे हैं, किसी बस सड़क पे कर रहे हैं लोग. मतलब पैशन है हमारे पास, एक अपॉर्चुनिटीज देनी चाहिए उनको इवेंट्स की और ट्रेनिंग की, तो इंशाल्लाह.
And Bashir bhai, what do you think's missing for us to get to the next level?
Nothing. Yeah, nothing's missing. It just takes time. It takes time, and you're actually, when we talk about the competition level, that's just one of the things that's important. There's also, what about who's interested in it anyway, right? Who's going to be willing to pay money to attend an event or watch an event so that investors come in, right? Then larger sponsors come in. So it's just really about how popular it is for an audience and how popular it is for athletes. Now, what Irfan has said about spreading the knowledge in like seminars, absolutely. That's correct. Some things that I was doing even from day one, and those things still are important and need to be done, and people are doing them. And obviously there could be more of that, but once again, then that takes time. If I go and I teach somebody, right? Say I go to a random gaon somewhere, and I spend 3 days there, right? They probably learned a lot from zero to what I can teach them about MMA, and in 3 days is a lot. But now, how long is it going to take them to learn, right? 10 years for somebody to actually from there to be like potentially world class, potentially, and unlikely, most likely, but potentially. So it's just time. It's just time. It's just I think what is happening now, like now, as someone who has kind of seen it from nothing to where it is now, I feel more it's just a matter of seeing how much it's gone now. If it increases at that same rate, and it even compounds at that same rate, we're fine. You know, if it gets 10% better than what it is today next year, then that's good, because after only a few years of just building upon itself, it's going to be a whole different world. So it's just about time. So we'll see. Now, what could be done if I had any idea where I can give you confidence that realistically we could make a bigger sport? I don't know. Somebody out there wants to, give me a humongous salary and the capital to make it happen. I can probably do it, but other than that, it's just time. Yeah, it's time. From short and span, I don't know. Maybe I can do it, but otherwise it's time.
Well, speaking of salaries and capital and, private investment, there's two things which I want to talk to both of you about. दो चीज़ें हुई हैं from August till now जो मेरे ख्याल से at least काफ़ी important indicators हैं पाकिस्तानी MMA के लिए कि हम लोग एक right direction में जा रहे हैं. पहली चीज़ इसके बारे में मैं बात करना चाहता हूँ वो है सराय Fight Night, SFN, right? Perhaps the biggest scale in terms of production, in terms of audience, in terms of production value, in terms of outreach. काफ़ी बड़ा MMA event था. I want to hear your thoughts on that. And the second thing I want to talk to you about, we've gone from Charrar Pind Shaheen to H Block Gourmet के ऊपर वाले floor पे Synergy to Y Block Rogue to now Packages Mall Brave Gym. Like the level of gyms just seems to keep growing. आप दोनों के लिए ये क्या indicators are? They good signs? Are they bad signs? Are they worrying signs? Or like what are your thoughts on? Let's talk about SFN first. What are your thoughts on SFN? दोनों, both of you. Sorry. Irfan, SFN पे क्या thoughts हैं?
SFN मुझे ये था कि काश ये तब होता जब मैंने शुरू किया था ये.
Yeah, for sure.
कर लिया, मगर ये कुछ मेरे स्टूडेंट थे जो फाइट कर रहे थे, उन्होंने उनको एक अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली और सबसे जो मजे की चीज उसमें फर्स्ट एवर फीमेल MMA फाइट करवाई, जो कि सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग था. और क्योंकि मुनव्वर सुल्ताना जो थी वो मेरी टीममेट भी थी ट्रेनिंग पार्टनर, तो एक अच्छा सीन था. और दूसरा जो फैसिलिटीज हमें वहाँ पे दी गई हैं, तो ये चीजें हमने कभी पहले पाकिस्तान में एक्सपीरियंस नहीं की थी. मतलब ये एक नई चीज थी और मेरे ख्याल में वो SFN ने जितना लोगों को इंस्पायर किया वो शायद पहले कभी किसी इवेंट से लोग इतने इंस्पायर नहीं हुए.
बिल्कुल
सही. तो वो अभी शायद वो इसी वजह से मेहनत कर रहे होंगे कि हाँ मैं शायद मुझे भी अपॉर्चुनिटी मिले SFN में 3 स्टार होटल में रह के पैसे मिले फाइट के, तो मैं मेहनत करता हूँ. तो एक बहुत अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी थी हमारे फाइटर्स के लिए, पाकिस्तान के लिए.
बिल्कुल, आई थिंक दैट हिट्स इट राइट ऑन द हेड. सबसे बड़ी जो एटलीस्ट डिफरेंशियल मैंने लोगों से बात की, पूछा, वैसे एनीबडी आई वुड स्पीक टू, वो यही था कि जो फैसिलिटीज़ अभी हमें प्रोवाइड हो रही हैं इट्स अनपैरेलल्ड, पहले किसी ने नहीं दी. आई थिंक दैट जस्ट गोज टू शो कि इन्वेस्टमेंट आ सकती है MMA में इफ यू ट्राई हार्ड इनफ. बशीर भाई, obviously you weren't there, but were you watching SFN? What did you think of the show? What do you think of the quality of fights?
My jaw dropped. That's all I can say.
Did you have a tear in your eye? A little tear in your eye? Just
that 100%. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, not much more I can say.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it was very well organized. It was very nicely done. I feel like even the fights lived up to the heights. We had everything. We had good decisions. We had knockouts. We had the first ever female fight. I think it was pretty unprecedented. And of course, now the second thing I wanted to just के बारे में आप लोगों से बात करनी थी. UFC gym खुला है Riven Road पे. UFC gym. I feel like that's, you know, even though they go UFC gym's kind of interesting क्योंकि at least initially आप कहते हो oh UFC gym खुल गया, that's crazy. That means UFC यहाँ पे शायद shows करे or something. But then if you really start asking people and start talking to them, वो कहते हैं it's a country club. वहाँ पे एक cinema है, वहाँ पे valet parking है, वहाँ पे you know 5-star whatever. And then, what do you guys feel about the UFC gym? क्या ख्यालात है उसके बारे में?
I think it's fascinating. Just like it's fascinating, extremely fascinating. And I know a lot of people that are going there that will be working. Marcos Oliveira, Dominic Robinson, and maybe some others. A few people messaged me actually asking because they got offers to work there. They're like, "Gee, what's it like? You know, what's Pakistan like? You know?" So it's fascinating. I definitely. Is it running now?
Yeah, I think it has started. I actually also got in touch with Marcos Oliveira. I wanted him on the podcast. He couldn't make it. But yeah, they came here. They did a bunch of seminars, promotional videos. I think it's still I mean, I don't think it's running right now because of COVID, but I think it was running. And yeah, it's interesting. I mean, Marcos is a 2-time IBJFF Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champ. I mean, that's insane. You know what I mean?
Legendary.
Yeah, it's insane. And for him to even, you know, like want to come train, I think that's crazy. But Irfan, आपके क्या thoughts हैं UFC gym पे? जितना आपने सुना है, जितना आपने देखा है, जितने आपके बाकी fighters का conversation हुई होगी. Obviously, it's a big deal, I'm sure. But क्या ख्यालात हैं आपके?
UFC gym सुनने में तो काफी अच्छा लग रहा है कि पाकिस्तान में UFC gym खोला है. मगर हमें पाक MMA community, हमें fighters को पता नहीं है UFC gym कहाँ पे, कब खोला है, किसने खोला है, वहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, किसी को नहीं पता. इवन जो पाक MMA के एथलीट किसी को भी नहीं पता कि वहाँ पे कोई इंटरनेशनल फैसिलिटी है, वहाँ पे अच्छे ट्रेनर हैं. ये तो पता नहीं कौन रन कर रहा है उनका.
नहीं, I think that's a fair point. नहीं, I think that's a very fair point क्योंकि अगर वो आ रहे हैं और पाकिस्तान presence ला रहे हैं, तो then they should inform the fighters and try to bring them in and everything.
I don't like it. It's obvious that with what they're doing with the cinema and stuff like that, fighters are obviously not their concern. So it's very interesting that they have some very high level trainers for the martial arts. Like, you know, so that means somebody who's going to a country club is getting some, like, if they want to do jiu-jitsu. See, that's the question for me, right? I don't think it's going to be accessible to the fighters of Pakistan. Maybe it will. If it is, that's amazing, right? But my question is are the people who are paying to go to a country club, how many of them are going to train in jiu-jitsu? And for how long, you know? Like 3 people, 3 months, and it goes like, you know, like what's the reality like that's going to come about with this? So if there are people going to this country club and training jiu-jitsu and they get into it and they get into mixed martial arts, that actually could be a huge thing for MMA in Pakistan. There could be people there who have obviously the money and the connections and the resources who are like, whoa, I didn't even know about this, right? How do I make this bigger? And then maybe if they're smart, they'll do some research and see all the things that are going on, and, you know, and maybe something can happen with that. I'm very interested to see like how their actual martial arts programs do. They have some high level coaches.
Yeah. And yeah, they have extremely high level coaches. And again, the question is, are they actually going to produce mixed martial artists who go out and fight? I guess only time will tell. And I think that's been a very good narrative for this podcast as well. Then again, of course, we have the Brave Gym opening up. Uski bhi launch hui thi. I got to go to that. I met a lot of the trainers. There was Yasir Harch there, who's trained with GSP and at TriStar Gym, which is pretty crazy, you know what I mean? And there's a whole other host of guys and trainers who are there. And I got to speak to Umer Ahmed, who is essentially the guy who's put together the Brave Gym. Umer, of course, spoke about having 10 events a year. He talked about training fighters and letting this be like the kind of a warehouse within Packages Mall where fighters can come and do their camps. But yeah, Brave Gym looks like a good indicator. Irfan, Brave Gym के बारे में PakMMA fighters को पता चला या वो भी मतलब काफी under the radar?
ब्रेव जिम जिस तरह मैं अभी बोलने वाला था, जिस तरह ब्रेव ने किया है, उसकी ओपनिंग में सबसे पहले फाइटर गए हैं जो पाकिस्तान को रिप्रेजेंट करे, पाकिस्तान के टॉप फाइटर उसको उन्होंने बुलाया, वो लोग वहां पे रहे हैं, वहां पे ट्रेनिंग की है उन्होंने। तो बेसिक कोई जिम होता है, उसका मोटो यही होना चाहिए, अच्छे लोग बाहर से आ रहे हैं, तो एक बिगिनर को आप किसी हाई लेवल जीएसपी को ट्रेन करने वाला कोच उसको कहोगे बिगिनर को सिखाओ, तो क्या फायदा होगा? किसी को कोई फायदा नहीं होगा। तो अगर भी अच्छे लोग आए हैं और अच्छे लोगों ने ट्रेनिंग की है, जिनको एक नॉलेज है गेम की, तो उससे मिक्स मार्शल आर्ट में प्रोग्रेस होगी। ऑब्वियसली ये बहुत अच्छी चीज थी ब्रेव जिम, और हो सकता है कि ब्रेव जिम से काफी अच्छे फाइटर भी निकले जिस तरह वो मैनेज कर रहे हैं अपने सारा कुछ।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, आई थिंक सो एज वेल। अब ऑब्वियसली हम लोग इस पॉइंट पे हैं राइट नाउ विद इन द पाकिस्तानी एमएमए सीन के अब or like more and more fighters are going abroad, getting to fight in different organizations. Isme I'm sure ek pura back channeling or process hota hai to get, you know, a contract and a fighter signed and then to get there and everything. Bashir bhai, in your experience, how easy is it now? Was it hard initially to get Pakistani fighters on cards and at events, and how easy is it now? And what's the perception of essentially people who come from Pakistan to fight? Do people think, oh, these guys are gonna definitely kick ass? What is it? You know, like, what do people think of Pakistani fighters coming to more and more international events?
Well, first of all, it's much easier to compete internationally now than it was before. Much, much easier. Many more opportunities. And what do people think? Well, I think Pakistan's a good reputation for, I think, the mixed martial arts world. Yeah, my battery's going to die. Anyway,
no worries. Yeah.
Pakistan has a good reputation in the mixed martial arts world. Yeah, I mean, every time we've had an athlete in one championship, people have always been impressed. Yeah, people have always been impressed. So, but it'll take time for us to begin to have a bigger win ratio internationally, and obviously, then that will happen.
And of course, I want to ask you guys, I saw the pictures. I was extremely jealous. I wanted to meet him myself. But Rich Franklin, the ace, the guy who's fought Anderson Silva, the guy who, you know, just at top of the middleweight division for so many years. My God, he came to Pakistan. He visited. He met everybody. That was crazy. How did that come together? Please tell me about this.
How did that come together? I told Rich, let's go to... Actually, it wasn't even me. I think it was one of the producers for the show, Armand. We were just talking about it. And he kept always joked with me. He'd be like, hey, shit, let's go to Pakistan. I was like, yeah, anytime. You know, anytime. I'm ready. And I guess he kept on bringing it up with Rich, you know, and like we wanted to go. And then, I mean, Rich is down for adventure and excitement. He's like, yeah, let's go to Pakistan. And it was a lot of fun to have him here. It was one of the best experiences of my life.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm sure. Because I remember I saw him like standing next to Muzammil and Waqar bhai and Irfan and everybody in the pictures. And I was like, oh my God, like he's here. Like, you know what I mean? And then I started like sending him DMs straight away because I didn't know anyone else at the time. So I was like, I don't know how to. And I was like, hello, hi, would you want to come on a podcast? He never replied. I don't blame him. He probably like 1,000 people messaged him that very day. But yeah, I mean, Irfan, aapko kaise laga? You know, for Rich Franklin, wo aaya, Shaheen mein aaya, usne, you know, सब कुछ देखा, उस सारे जिम्स विजिट किए, पाकिस्तान देखा. आपके लिए एक प्राउड मोमेंट था कि आप जैसे फाइटर्स की मेहनत की वजह से we've gotten somebody as big as Rich, and I'm sorry मैं थोड़ा सा over the top excited हूँ उसके बारे में बात करने में, but somebody like Rich freaking Franklin, कैसा लगा आपको?
बहुत अच्छा. ये एक जब रिच फ्रैंकलिन आए थे, ये मैं हर बंदे को एक स्टोरी बताता हूँ. तो सबसे पहले जब मैं लाहौर आया था बशीर अहमद से ट्रेनिंग करने, तो इन्होंने मुझे पूछा था कि तुम्हारा फेवरेट फाइटर कौन है. तो उस वक्त मेरा छोटा फोन होता था, मेरे बटनों वाला, उस पे बस मैं रोजाना रिच फ्रैंकलिन सर्च करके उसकी तस्वीरें देखता था, और जो वीडियोस चल जाती थी वो उसकी वीडियो देखता था. तो मैं बस जल्दी से बोल दिया कि रिच फ्रैंकलिन मेरा फेवरेट फाइटर है. तो वो 5 साल बाद रिच फ्रैंकलिन हमें शूट करने, हमारे साथ वीडियोस बनाने हमारे लिए पाकिस्तान आया हुआ था. तो ये एक बहुत अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस था. और उसी दिन जिस दिन वो पाकिस्तान आया था, उससे जब वो रात में अपने होटल वापस गए हैं, मैंने उबर करवाई है किसी काम से, मैं जा रहा था और मैं इतना ज्यादा एक्साइटेड था, उबर वाले को बोल रहा हूँ, बात सुनो, मैं रिच फ्रैंकलिन से मिला, वो पाकिस्तान आया हुआ है. कौन है? फिर मैं से स्टोरी बता रहा हूँ, काफी बहुत ज्यादा एक्साइटेड हो गया था.
Wow. I mean, मैं सोच भी नहीं सकता यार. Like, you know, कि Rich Franklin से मिलना and then for him to be in Pakistan, I think it's only a testament to how far your efforts, Bashir Bhai, in starting the sport, in incubating it, and founding it, and creating it, literally in your. Is it true? Did you call it the Slaughterhouse initially, where people would come and train? Yeah, from the Slaughterhouse, right, all the way till now. It's been an entire journey from. I mean, I wasn't even. Like I'm now researched this stuff and I like look at it and I watched the Vice video that you were in as well. It's just insane to me that we've come to this point. But I just want to ask, like, when Rich came here and he saw like the kind of culture that the fighters in the gyms have and सब कुछ जिस तरह चल रहा है और एक interest है MMA में जो develop कर रहा है slowly, what were his thoughts essentially on the Pakistani scene?
He wasn't that surprised because he'd seen the athletes compete, so he saw the athletes compete already. So he wasn't that surprised. He's been all over the place. He's seen, he was more, curious about Pakistan, like he's been inside of a million gyms and he loves Shaheen. Like when he came down, he was like, yeah, this is my kind of place. He really liked it, he loved that experience. But yeah, he's seen people compete, so he didn't have any, he wasn't really blown away necessarily. Irfan and he did Irfan and Shaheen. When we went to Shaheen, I guess the one thing you can say that maybe a new impression is that how young some of the kids at Shaheen were and their skill level. Like, okay, like these guys can be pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's insane. I remember SFN, the SFN that happened. I was doing commentary, and I saw Abu Bakr. His fight was the first ever fight I've seen live, and the first ever fight I got to commentate for, and the first ever fight I had to do ring announcing for. So it's a pretty like I won't ever forget that fight. And I remember I saw him, and I asked him, how old are you? I think he was 14 or 15. I don't remember, but I was pretty shocked. I was like, wow, you're doing MMA. That's crazy. And I was like, okay, I guess we're gonna start with I was such an idiot to say kids fight, right? And then as soon as the contest started, boom, bam, he got him in a ninja choke. I didn't even know what a ninja choke was.
I think it's worth mentioning the ridiculous size difference between the two.
Yeah. Ali Imran was like, yeah, he had a big height differential on him, and Abu Bakr still just relentless. It got him in a ninja choke, and that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. So I think it's only a testament again to Shaheen as a gym and how far it's come and how much talent it's going to keep producing. Irfan, do you have a message for all of the Shaheen fans, all of the people जो Shaheen में हैं, Shaheen को support करते हैं? आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे उन्हें? The floor is completely yours.
अभी बस यही है, जो लोग इसको शाहीन जिम के बारे में जिनको थोड़ा बहुत पता है, जिनको नहीं पता उनको मैं कहूँगा कि इसके बारे में थोड़ा पता करें कि एक अच्छी चीज हो रही है पाकिस्तान में. तो मैसेज यही है कि
कल इंशाल्लाह हम बात करेंगे.
I mean, that's fair enough. Sums it up. Shaheen has produced talent. Bashir Bhai, you started the sport. Irfan, you're now the torchbearer. Inshallah, jab aapki next fight hogi, we would love to cover it. We are definitely going to, because this bar we weren't really ready. We were still setting up with the podcast and everything. We couldn't do an episode right after, but we're going to do one right after. We're going to try to come to your training camp, or, we're going to make videos of you and everything and try to promote, get the word out as much as possible. And Bashir Bhai, needless to say, it has been an absolute honor speaking to you, sir. And an absolute privilege.
Fantastic. Yeah, goodbye. I'll be listening intently. I've heard the one that you had with Shaheen, so I didn't know it had only been 7 months. So that's that's very nice talking to you. Well, actually, one message that I do have for Shaheen.
Yes, sir.
I don't know when this is going to, but we're actually every year we have fundraising for Shaheen. So just let anyone who's just listening to this just go and just take some time to Google Shaheen. If you just search Shaheen Kids or Shaheen Academy on the internet, Shaheen Academy, Bashir Ahmad, Shaheen Academy MMA Pakistan, and you can find out how you can help. Whether someone wants to volunteer, their time and tuition, or or however. And there's lots of ways that people can volunteer, or they want to donate even a small amount, 100 rupees, 500 rupees, 1,000 rupees. These things add up and they matter. So that's the message for everybody listening to look it up. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, everything you need to know about being able to donate to Shaheen and to get to the Shaheen page is all in the description. So please do check it out. We're going to link it there. Try to contribute to the gym as much as possible. I've been there personally. The kids have a work ethic, and the people there, not just kids, just the fighters, the kids, the coaches, the management, everybody has a work ethic like I've never seen in the country. It is an establishment that is purely bred out of the will to fight and keep fighting. So please do check out Shaheen. Once again, Irfan, thank you so much for doing this, sir. And I hope I'll get to speak to you again. Bashir bhai, thank you so much for doing this, sir. And I really hope I can talk to you again next time something big happens or whatever.
Sure, for sure.
Thank you so much, sirs. It has been an absolute pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the 12th episode of On the Mic. If you're watching this, please do hit that subscribe button. It's very important that you do so. Go to our Instagram, follow us. Go to our Facebook, like us. All of the description, in the description, we have the link to Bashir Bhai's Instagram. We have the link to Irfan's Instagram. We have the links to Shaheen. Go check them out, everything. And as always, from me, keep it tight. Thank you. Thank you, guys. That was freaking awesome. Really, really appreciate it, guys.
No problem.
All right. All right. No, for sure. Thank you, Coach. All right. Oh.